All right, what's up? I think YouTube we're getting close. Getting close. All right, we got streaming health on YouTube at a red. That's okay. It usually turns green. Looks like Facebook is good to go. We are live there as well. All right, so it looks like we're live on Facebook and live on YouTube. Sweet. Okay, perfect. Well, guys, I'm going to give everyone a few moments to jump on, and then we're going to dive straight into things today. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I think you guys can see my screen right now, so that's sweet. So we're going to dive into a really, really fun subject today, and I'm pumped to do that. Ashley is here. Wow, that is awesome. Ashley's here. Man, I'm my biggest fan. So today I ate macaroni and cheese. Actually, I just ate it. And it's one of those things that you probably shouldn't eat before doing a call because it kind of slows you down, and I ate basically the whole box. Now, usually we have good food in the house, but we've been gone this whole weekend, and we're going to go out tonight. After the calls, we made a decision to go out and get real food. But macaroni and cheese is what I had today. That was good. This morning I had 6 eggs as well, so that was really fun. And what else? I had 6 eggs, macaroni and cheese, and what else? I don't know. Whatever. Lisa, what's going on? How are you? Okay, so I can't really tell who's on right now. All I can see is a couple people, but I'm just going to assume that people are jumping on as we move forward. So anyway, we're going to jump in, and we're going to talk about copy. And I think what I'm going to do here, I have a new decision to make. I don't know about this. But what I want to do is I want to make these live calls like actually useful and special for people. And so I'm like, I want to delete them when we're done with them, but then the content has gone out of the group, and that makes me sad. So I'm not totally sure. I don't know. We're going to leave it the way it is for now, but if you're watching this later as a replay, or if you're watching this now as a live stream, I may do that. I don't know. We'll think about it. Anyway, we're going to talk about copywriting today. So thank you for bearing with me as we're kind of mumbling about stuff. I just wanted to let people who wanted to jump on actually jump on. So we're going to go dive into this stuff right now. We're going to dive into copywriting itself and talking about copywriting. So right here, can you see? Yeah, my screen is being shown. Okay, cool. Make sure both of them are. Yes. Okay. Sweet. So last week we talked about having your offer built properly, and I think before that we talked about the 4 keys to successful network marketing funnel. And if you needed to have any of that baseline, we went over that baseline information on the podcast, the 4 keys to a successful network marketing funnel. One of them being the offer, which is the most important one. The second one, I would argue, is copywriting, which is what we're going to go over today. And then you have targeting, and you have strategy, or the actual funnel type itself. So a few weeks ago we did the funnel types of application-based funnels and things like that. And obviously that was super cool, but that's a funnel type. Targeting is self-explanatory. The offer we went over last week. And then today we're going to go over copywriting. We're actually getting your messaging out there. Okay, so copywriting is the thing. It's the words that you're sharing with people, or that you're actually giving people through the video, or through the sales letter, or through the webinar, that's conveying your message. It's conveying your offer. Okay, so you have to accomplish a few different things when you're writing copy. Okay, you have to get people to like you and trust you. You have to make sure that they know you're talking to them. That's getting the targeting right. You have to make sure you're talking to them. You have to be polarizing. You have to make sure that you are, as much as you're including your target market, you're excluding everyone else. Okay, that's called polarizing or polarization. You want to make sure you're polarizing. You want to make sure that your story relates to people to where they like you, and then they trust you. That's what you want. You want to teach them something or educate them. When you do that, now they trust you even more, and they're potentially willing to buy from you at some point. That happens through education. And then lastly, you're actually making an offer. Okay, so this is some of these 11 tips for writing copy like a boss. They're just kind of like tips. They're tips to start moving you in the right direction once you kind of have a baseline of knowledge. And I'm actually pulling this directly from one of our members areas. So you guys are getting like really, really, really good stuff right here. I mean, I literally pulled this from the members area right there as I'm showing it to you in the top left. Okay, so this is a copywriting formula for a long-form sales letter. Okay, so this is not going to be what you would use for everything, but it's going to work for a lot of things. So another copywriting formula is in Expert Secrets. It's the perfect webinar script. That's a copywriting formula, if you will. This copywriting formula is something that we used in multiple sales letters. This one is very close to more of like a Mike Dillard type formula. And so this is actually based on one of our sales letters right here. So the first thing that you'll do is a headline or a pattern interrupt. Okay, so this is the call to action as to who the letter is for. All right, so in the case of the sales letter that we're talking about here today, it's for those that wanted to lose weight. Okay, so the examples you could do is attention business owner, or attention network marketer, or attention working single mom, or dear video game junkie, whatever. This is calling the attention out. You want to do this pretty fast. You don't have to do it like this with an attention or a dear, but you want to make sure people know who you're talking to so that they know, okay, this is for me, or this is not for me. All right, but obviously we're talking to our targets. We want people to be like, okay, yeah, this is for me. All right, the subheadline is going to be something like this: you're about to learn, or you're about to discover. Okay, so we need to pull people into the next thing. So attention network marketer, you're about to discover blah, blah, blah. Right now you will learn. So in this example, this was a weight loss thing. So I forgot who the attention thing was. Oh, here it is. Eating less and working out more but can't keep the weight off. It's not your fault. Right now you'll learn why you should stop counting calories. It's really not that important. Why eating less and exercising more doesn't work. All right, so that's like the subheadline. It's to get people like, ooh, wow, like it should be really shocking. So for instance, let's say you're we'll use network marketing because we're all in network marketing here. In network marketing example, you're going to want to use something that grabs people's attention. So for instance, let's say we had a list of the top 10 things, the top 10 reasons why people are never able to quit their job before 65. Okay, so let's say you're trying to get people in network marketing, but you're targeting like the masses out there. The top 10 reasons why people can't quit the job before 65. What are some of them? They don't save enough. They don't invest enough, right? They never go out on their own as an entrepreneur. They don't get promoted. They have bad career choices. Maybe their expenses are too high. These are really, really common reasons why someone wouldn't be able to quit the job before 65. What you're looking to do right now is take the most polarizing, most intense example and put it here at the subheadline. So what you're looking at is, so let's say we had those 5 there, but let's say number 9 is, not asking for a raise that's 10% higher than what your boss initially asked you or gave you or whatever. That's a little bit more like job-esque. Maybe it's never tried home-based business opportunities, something like that. Something that's a little bit weird, but that is kind of getting to your point. You want to use whatever, if there's a top 10 reasons for X, you want to use the least common one that people wouldn't actually register in their brain and put that at the beginning. So right here it says why you should stop counting calories. It's not that important. Why eating less and exercising more doesn't actually work. So you're kind of throwing a curveball at them right at the beginning so that it grabs them, because you've only got a few seconds to grab them. You get a little more leeway later on, but especially in the first few paragraphs, you got to nail them really, really fast, right? Okay. After you do that, you want to introduce yourself. So, hey, my name is Zach, blah, 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 blah. You can talk about that. What I would recommend doing is going over to the 11 ways to write copy like the boss and use the self-deprecating phrases right here. And so, for instance, when it says, hey, my name is Zach, I like to use the one, I'm a nobody from Chicago with a total annoyance for the city. I don't have any free Lamborghinis for you, or free webinars for you today, or Lamborghinis that I rented that I could take pictures in front of to make you think that I own 7 or whatever, right? I like to do something like that so people can get a feel for me, and then I can kind of go into my actual who actually am I. But I like to self-deprecate a little bit so that people don't think I'm just this highfalutin fool jumping around. Okay, then we're going to jump into the story. All right, and so yeah, we're going to kind of skip. This is really intense, right? What I would recommend doing this is looking at something called the Epiphany Bridge script from Russell Brunson. and following that. That's what's basically happening here. And in every story, you're basically doing this. Right now, you're likening yourself to the prospect. So, hey, attention network marketers, grab your attention. Here's who I am. This is my story. And so you want to do this. If you do this wrong, it's going to sound stupid. You're going to lose people immediately. If you do this right, they can't stop reading. If you go read the MLM Rebels Blueprint, if you haven't done that, click down below. I left a link down below. It's the MLM Rebels Blueprint. And it's basically a 50-page or 40-page document on how to build an automated recruiting system. But it's also kind of a sales letter too, right? At the very, very end, there's a little pitch at the end. But if you read it, it's doing this. It's telling a story. Why am I telling a story in there? To get people to relate to me so that they know, oh, this guy's been where I've been. He knows exactly what I'm going through, and he found a solution. I should listen to it. So a story typically goes backstory, right? Then you let people know your desires. So this is where I was. I was, working a job and broke. I was working a business trying to get out of my job. My desire was to leave my job so I could be free and travel around the world with my wife. But I had a huge problem. My business wasn't working. That's a wall. The business wasn't working. It kept not working even though I kept trying. Then I had this new plan. This new plan was to build the business online. Oh my gosh, what a great plan. But then something bad happened, and I realized that no one really knows how to build it online that well. So I had to kind of figure it out myself, and when I did, I achieved my goal, and I became internally transformed. I just literally gave you guys the Epiphany Bridge script. So you want to use that in any story that you tell. It's also talked about at something called the Hero's Two Journeys. If you think about any movie that you've ever seen, it's probably following a script called the Hero's Two Journeys. Literally every single one. Go look it up, the Hero's Two Journeys, and you'll know what I'm talking about. That's how you want to tell the story. During this story, or even after, you want to start educating people on something. So if you notice in the MLM Rebels Blueprint, which if you're not reading that right now, or like a little bit like after this, do that. I would read that a lot. We spent a good portion of that thing educating people, okay? Educating people on actually how to build their own automated recruiting system. When you do that, when you educate someone on something, they trust you more. And they're more likely to buy from you, because if you're helping me this much for free, what will you do? I think I smell weed coming in from the door. What will you do if I pay you? Right, we have the door open, and I think I smell weed. Fantastic. So that's that next piece. A lot of people skip this. They're very like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this because that's my best stuff. What will people do with it? Trust me, if you give people your best, they will pay for the next thing. Okay, so give people your best and it's going to be fun. So education is next. All right, and then we got stories to back up the education. We don't need to dive into that. I like to dig in their pain. Usually, again, this happens through the sales letter. So again, go reference back to the MLM Rebels Blueprint. As you're going through it, you'll notice that a few times I'll cut the wound open and throw some salt in there. And it won't be, I won't be saying hey, you suck. It's never pointed at you never want to point to the prospect and say you suck. In fact, you want to remove blame from them. It's not their fault. What you basically want to do is cut yourself open, pour salt in it, and let them see it. That's what I mean here. Okay, and let them know that it's not their fault for what happened. All right, and then you want to show them the solution. All right, so this is where we talk about the new opportunity. And when you talk about a new opportunity, this is kind of what we spoke about with our offer. The offer has to be the blue ocean. It has to be the new opportunity. All right, so you want to show them the solution here. That's where you bring this up. All right. Then again, we have some stories to basically justify the solution, things like that. This is really, really good. Demonstrate why your solution is the only one. You can do this through testimonials, like the one that we're showing in this one. You can do this by showcasing what other stuff is out there in your competition and not bashing them by name. That's horrible. You never want to do that. But showing hey, this is what else is going on out there, and then basically being how well has that been working for you? And telling stories about how you tried that and how maybe it didn't work, right? Testimonials again, we're still demonstrating. And this is where we're actually laying out the actual pieces of the offer. Well, not necessarily the components of the offer, but the benefits of the offer, okay? So If I give you an automated recruiting system, that's great, but what does that mean to Joe Schmo? It means nothing. He doesn't give a crap, right? What it means to him is something that he can recruit unlimited people in a month so that he can have financial freedom, right? A key here is so you can. All right, actually, look, I wrote it right here. So you can. So here, this pocket knife has a lock on it. The benefit is so you can cut anything without fear of the knife closing on your fingers, right? Feature, this computer has 16 gigabytes of RAM. Benefit, the computer can run a Photoshop, Chrome, and stream a computer game all at once with zero lag. You want to now showcase the benefits. I'm going to give you Perfect Retention Secrets, the course, as a part of this program. So you can keep people on your team, do the work once, get paid forever. No one cares about the dumb course. Again, in all honesty, I used to tell clients this when they would hire us. You don't really care about the sales letter. You don't really care about the ad I'm going to write for you. You don't really care about the funnel you're going to get. You don't really care even about the customers that you're going to get. You don't really care about any of that stuff. You don't even care about the customers coming in and buying your service. You care about the money that they're going to give you and maybe the servitude that you're going to provide for them. So if we could just skip all this crap and just skip from where we're at to you having more money in your bank account, would you choose that option? Or do you want to go through all the rigmarole of writing an ad, writing a sales letter, having a funnel, getting the client, servicing the client, and then getting paid? If they could wave a magic wand, what would you prefer? You want the end result. You want the money, right? You want the money and the satisfaction you get of serving someone. So if we can skip a lot of that crap, let's get there. So remember, all the mumbo-jumbo in the middle is a feature. You're talking about the end. The end is the benefit. So you can benefit, all right? That is one of the keys to selling. I'm telling you right now, the worst salespeople in the world talk about all the random crap that you get. No one gives a crap. They care about the thing that they get at the end. That's the benefit. Okay, then a call to action. That's easy. You guys know what I'm saying there. Demonstrate scarcity. This is huge. Urgency and scarcity, per Mr. RB, are the two biggest marketers' weapons. Urgency and scarcity. This offer is going away soon because blah, right? There's only 7 units left because XYZ. Now, don't make this up because otherwise you're a liar, but you can manufacture scarcity, okay? For instance, like, we're only selling a certain amount of people, or we're only allowing a certain amount of people to purchase the Rebels 2.0 system, which is the product that is being sold at the end of the MLM Rebels blueprint. Why? Because it's using a strategy that's dialing into influencer marketing that if too many people do it, it'll get saturated. Like, truly, it'll get saturated. That's scarcity. If you wait too long to buy it, you're not going to get it because we're going to close the doors. Why? Number one, we care about our people that are purchasing it, but number two, we care about us. And if you saturate it, we can't use it anymore. That's scarcity. If you don't have something super concrete like that for whatever reason, you're just like, oh well, anybody can get into my network marketing company. Anybody can buy my stuff forever. Then manufacture it and stick to it. I will only sell 500 more versions of this, and then make an offer that you only sell 500 versions of. Maybe you say, you're selling a bottle of vitamins. Sell a bottle of vitamins and then give them a workout manual that you wrote. Only 500 people will get this. And then stop and never sell that package again. You can manufacture scarcity. You can manufacture urgency, and it's one of your 2 biggest tools in your toolbox. Okay. Build perceived value and unveil the true cost. We went over this last time in the offer where you're talking about the value of each item, and then at the end of all that, you're unveiling the true cost. We went over that last week, that's why I'm just blown over it. The offer guarantee, this is, okay, I'm going to talk about this for a second. So in today's day and age, if you're selling any sort of information product, personally, I don't do 30-day guarantees anymore, or like any of that no questions asked stuff. We did it for a while, about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't remember exactly, and people just take advantage of it so bad nowadays. I can see when people are doing stuff, when they buy stuff and they go through the courses, I can see. And people would buy it, they'd go through the courses, they'd save the videos, I can watch the view counter go up in the videos, they'd save it, go through the videos, all these things, and then request refunds, like basically steal stuff. They would essentially, it's like going to a store, buying a pair of shoes, walking around on them, doing them what you got to do, spitting on them, stepping in dog crap, and then going back to the store and saying, I never use this. And so I got so sick of that, and so I was like, you know what, screw this, I'm never dealing with this again. So no more no questions asked stuff. Personally, I wouldn't do that. I would stay away from the whole thing like that. Nowadays, a lot of people are moving that direction in the info marketing space, and people are just fine with it. There is a really old folklore about needing to offer a guarantee. Don't think that's the case. I do offer conditional guarantees in some of our higher ticket stuff, meaning if you apply everything like I told you to apply and you don't get a result that I told you would get within a certain period of time, you can ask for a refund. That's totally different because it makes them apply it, makes them think about it before they buy it, and the refund thing went down to very, very close to zero, if not zero. So when you offer a guarantee, I would offer a guarantee, but offer a conditional guarantee. Today, I think the psychology among Americans has changed where people actually gravitate a little bit towards something that's different. It's like a pattern interrupt. They expect you to offer a 30-day guarantee because people have been doing that for 20 years. And when you don't, people are like, oh, they're confident, they stand behind their thing. So that's just my opinion on it. Our sales have dropped by 0% since we implemented the results guarantee / no guarantee 2 years ago. So just an FYI, sales dropped to 0%. And it was an actual split test with the funnel that I showed you guys a few days ago. Okay, the benefit list. This is basically just going over the benefits I just talked about. Okay, let people know what to expect and then cast a vision for the future. So what I mean by this is, it says to order, simply click on this button and you'll be taken to a secure checkout page, enter your billing information, and we'll send you instant access to the university immediately. If you go read the blueprint, you attend one of our webinars, you'll see what says hey, go click this Enroll Now button. What will happen is you'll be taken to our secure checkout page. You're going to fill out your name, email, phone number, your credit card information. You're going to hit submit. What's going to happen next is you're going to get an email immediately with instant access to all blah, 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 blah. Everything I just told you there is brain dead simple. Click on the button, enter my information, enter the credit card, hit go, and I'll get an email. It's amazing, but when you do that versus don't do that, you get way higher conversions by doing it than if you're not. But you want to let people know what to expect next now, and then what to expect next once they purchase. After that, you're going to cast a vision. Hey, show them what life would be like afterwards. Imagine being excited when you look at the scale of home at the doctor's office and when you are excited about that. Imagine if you were traveling the world. Imagine if this was you. Imagine this, right? Get them thinking forward. You want them associating the cost of your thing, which even if it's cheap, they're still going to put time in. They're still going to potentially lower their perceived status amongst their friends if they're doing something on the side. That is their cost. You want to link the cost to the end result, not the cost to what they get today. Because what they get today is just a little starter kit. But link the cost, the mental cost, not just financial, the whole cost, to what they could get at the end. Cast a vision for the future and then give them a final warning and hope. So basically what I'm saying is, well, you just read it. If they haven't hit that buy button yet, remind them what would happen if they don't take your solution today, and it's not going to be a good thing. And then offer a little bit of glimmer of hope at the end. So here's an example. I want to take a moment and talk about what can happen if you don't take action now. At best, you'll stay where you've been, which if you made it this far, my guess is you know that the whole calorie in, calorie out adage is a lie. So I know you need to try something new. However, if you keep eating improper foods, the condition will most likely worsen as we get older. Our hormones like testosterone and estrogen naturally decrease. Think blah, blah, blah. So the younger we are, the easier it is to bounce back into a place of health. But I don't want you to be in that position. I don't want to scare you, take your hope away, blah, 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 blah. So start something new. Does that make sense? Okay. Woo! All right, so this is a little formula that we've used for quite a few different sales letters. Like I said, I would also think about the Epiphany Bridge script that Russell Brunson talks about. Okay, 11 tips that you guys can take with you. One is use self-deprecating phrases. Talked about that one already. Transparency and vulnerability. So something like, this is going to take more work than you think, but it's worth it. What do I mean by that? I'm being honest with you. This is going to take more work than you probably think, because most likely you think you're going to get rich quick. But that's not the case, right? But it's worth it, I promise that. Or, I don't have this all figured out. Here's a few of my problems. I oversleep almost daily. I'm neurotic. I'm lazy 75% of every day. And I wish I didn't have to clean up my dog's crap, but I do. Why am I saying those things? Because I'm looking for white space to take up? No, because I want to be transparent with them so that they believe me, right? And because I want a better connection with them. That's like selfish. I want a better connection with people. But if you're not transparent, nobody likes perfect people. All right, I actually wrote that right there. Nobody likes perfect people, right? We've talked about this before. If you stood on stage 2 weeks after you got into your network marketing company and said, I made $5 million, nobody's going to like you, right? When you see all those images on Instagram or Pinterest of these like perfect families, right? He's like, or like the woman that's just like perfectly shaped and all that, and you could tell like you're probably Photoshopped, but you start comparing yourself to them, or you look like, or maybe you're a dude and you see this big jack dude and you're like, oh my gosh, that's insane. Like, you know, guys think a little bit differently, but you start comparing yourself to that, and does it raise your belief or lower it? It probably lowers it, right? It gives you negative emotions. But when you see someone who's really transparent, they tell you what's really going on with them. Do you draw closer to them or do you pull away? You draw closer. So be transparent on purpose. All right, call out what everyone is thinking. So if you're giving something to someone for free, tell them why and be honest, right? Now, obviously, you might have to use some skills here to not lose a sale, but be honest with them. Use pattern interrupts. One of my favorite ones is don't read this. I literally write, do not read this. And people read it. It's some of our best performing ads literally say, do not read this. You're reading it. You rebel you with a little winky face. Best performing ads of saying stuff like that, okay? I don't even know what I meant there. I want to talk about me, then talk about them. No anything but you, but you. Oh yeah, well, just the whole benefits thing. Okay. This is a really, really big one. Read what you wrote out loud. It should sound like you're speaking. Okay, so if it doesn't sound smooth, it's going to suck. I promise you right now it's going to suck. So whenever you write a letter or an ad, read it out loud, and if it sounds bad, change it until it sounds good. Ashley used to have to listen to all of my ads, sometimes she still does, over and over and over again until we were satisfied. Right? And Ashley really enjoys it because, you know, Zach gets a little fixated on things and, you know, she smiles. Yeah, so read them out loud, though. The whole thing until it sounds like as close to perfect as you can get it. If it sounds bad coming out of your mouth, it's not going to play well in people's heads as they're reading it. It's probably the #1 tip I just gave you. Avoid marketing phrases, okay? I don't have any exact examples right now, but if they're everywhere. Just go look on Facebook, start scrolling, and when something pisses you off, just highlight it, save it, and don't do that. Okay, like, I'm going to give this to you for free with an exclamation point. I want to help you succeed, exclamation point. I'm here to serve you, exclamation point. I'm rich and you're not. Like, all that crap. Get rid of it. Okay, I'm going to give you a bonus one right here. I used to tell this to people even building old school, and this one thing I'm going to tell you here, if you just implement this one thing, it's going to increase your sponsoring ratio by a lot. Prospects don't want to hear that you want to help them, or that you're going to serve them, or that you're going to help them become successful. That is the dumbest thing in the world to say to a prospect ever. In the history of network marketing, it is the single dumbest thing that anyone could say. Think about how weird that sounds in our today's generation of narcissistic, self-absorbed people. I'm here to help you. Do you think people are like, oh, he's being transparent? No. Right? Now, you might be, but it's coming off really bad. So you have to be actually honest and transparent, but you also have to realize what's going on in their head, because perception is reality. Reality is not reality. So if you start saying stupid things like, I'm going to help you succeed, a person who's been working in the normal world for 10 years and no one's wanted them to succeed yet, and they got daddy issues and mommy issues, and you tell them you want to help them, you think they're going to be like, okay, cool. That happens all the time. No. Never, never, never. Now, you could want to serve them deep down, and after you build a relationship with them, you can tell them that you want to serve them. That's fine, but your relationship is different pre-close. Pre-close and post-close, your relationship is totally different. Completely different, right? Okay, I'm not going to go super far down that whole rabbit hole, but like if you took one thing, take that, and I promise no matter what you're doing to market your stuff, if you just change your language a little bit, and that one, your sponsoring ratio is going to go up. Okay, call attention to the target immediately. We already know that. Speaking stories with epiphanies. Regardless of where your faith walk is, go read some of the Gospels in the Bible. Jesus was unequivocally undeniably one of the most influential, if not the most influential human that ever walked the earth, whether you're a complete atheist or a total devout Christian. It doesn't matter, right? But the dude knew how to influence people, and he spoke in nothing but stories for the most part. Nothing but stories, and people are still today wondering, they're studying what he meant, right? So speaking epiphanies, not so crazy that you're trying to be Jesus, but speaking stories, make your stories do your talking. And lastly, be you. Okay. Woo! This making sense? All right. I am going to share with you guys one last thing here. But is this all making sense? Yeah, I want a thumbs up if it is, and a thumbs down if it's not. I'm just kidding. There's no thumbs down. So too bad. If it's not making sense, then that just stinks. But this is a little example of what happens like when our members actually go through the Rebels members area. So I guess that's kind of like a sideways pitch. That wasn't my intent. But I took this from the Rebels members area, and I'm sharing this with some of you guys right now. And things like that. So anyway, what I want to do with you guys right now is before we head out of this call, I want to talk to you really briefly about a leadership lesson that is going to help you get duplication. If you get up right now, I don't know what you're thinking, because what I just taught you how to do was how to get people onto your team. But if people are getting onto your team and they're getting out of your team, guess what you're going to keep having to do? Getting people on your team. And here's my question. Are you trying to do the work once and get paid forever, or do the work once and do it again? And then again, and then again. You probably want to do the work once and get paid forever, right? So what I'm about to share with you is a little snippet into how you can do the work once and have your team stick, and then how you can keep getting paid from the team that you did the work once to get. Okay? So, this took me years to learn, like legitimately years, because I didn't understand true duplication. I didn't understand how to actually build the business, even though I knew how to sponsor people. You can be one of the greatest sponsors on earth, but if you don't do what I'm about to tell you, you're going to have a problem, a huge problem, and it's going to be the fact that you just bought yourself a job. If you want to be, okay, does it feel good? Like, be honest, don't have to answer, just be honest with yourself. Does it feel good when people think that you're the smart guy, or you're the smart girl, you're the smart woman, you're the smart man? Does it feel good when you're the smart person and people are coming to you for answers? Does that feel good? And they tell you you're smart and they thank you for your wisdom? Have we all had an instance in life where someone's come to us for advice, they've asked us for that advice, we've given the advice, and we found out that it was correct, and they're thanking us for the advice? Has that ever happened? Does it feel good? It does, right? Probably know where I'm going with this already. But it feels good. I like it today. It still is like, ooh, it's a little ego boost, right? If your team is coming to you for answers, and you're giving them answers, you are taking a shotgun directly to your team and shooting. You should not be giving your team very many answers. Why? Because you become the bottleneck for the team. When you got 10 people on your team, when you got even 50, maybe 100 active people that see you as the leader, you could maybe handle that. Maybe, right? You got 100, 200 people that are coming to you. You're the leader. You're the answer man, the answer woman. They're coming to you. You could maybe handle all that influx. Maybe. What happens if you have 1,000 people that see you as the leader, or 10,000 that see you as the leader? Now, if you've got a bunch of leaders under you, totally different. But if you've got 1,000 or 10,000 people that see you as the leader of the team, and every time they get a question, they come to you, do you see that you have a problem? Number one, you don't even have enough physical time available to you in a day to answer all those questions. If you tried, you realize how no fun your life is going to be? What about what action people will take if they're not able to get their answers? Do people just giddy on up and still move forward, or do they get stuck and stagnate when they don't get their answers? Most people get stuck. So now we got a team that's stuck, that's a little bit frustrated at us, even though they shouldn't be, by the way. That's a story for another time. But they're stuck. They're a little bit frustrated at you as an upline, and you're busy spinning your wheels trying to answer all these dumb questions. This sucks, right? How do you get around this? You have people seek out the answers for themselves, and you still help them. You still coach them, but your coaching is almost kind of like a parable. Oh, it's almost like this is all connected. Your coaching is leading them to the answer, but not giving them the answer. You're saying, hey, the water's over there, Mr. Horse, not here's the water, stick your tongue out. You do that by giving them resources. Hey, I have a question on doing this type of thing from my funnel. Perfect, great question. Here's the answer in this video. By the way, I found this video there, right? Now the video's answering the question and you're telling them where you got the video from. Now guess where they're going to go next time? To that place where you found the video. Hey, I have a question on retention. What do I do when XYZ happens? Hey man, that's a great question. Actually, there was just a podcast made about it called Do the Work Once and Get Paid Forever. It's on MLM Rebels. Go listen to it. Whatever, right? Show them the resources that are out there. You want resources to build your team, not you to build your team or to keep people in. Now, I don't have a ton of time to dive into all of this even more, but hopefully you guys understand the concept here. Now, I know that the objection could be a couple things. Number one, well, but you might not have resources. Okay, so the first thing you should do is go to your upline. See if your upline has resources that they can use, or that they can give you, or that you can purchase or whatever, that you can send your team to. That's number one. Number two is use resources that are available to you, but maybe if your upline doesn't have any, then use resources that are available to you. So unabashedly, I'm going to promote the Rebels programs. Obviously, our programs can do that for you. We have Perfect Retention Secrets. We have the Warm Market Blueprint, Instant Cold Contacting Hacks, the Perfect MLM Script, the podcast, right? These are all resources that are company agnostic. You can use them in your company. The MLM Rebels Blueprint, how to build an automated recruiting system. These are company agnostic resources that you can use to build your team. And how do you know what's out there? You take them for yourself. You listen to the episodes. You purchase the products, what's in there, and you promote them to your team, and you let the resources build your team for you. If you don't want to use our stuff, that's fine. Go find someone else that you admire. Now, from a funnel standpoint, I only know of one other guy that's even like remotely, or he's very good at the funnels and network marketing stuff. I don't think his stuff is fully automated, but he's pretty good. There's other people out there though that have like more traditional network marketing strategies that you can use their resources. I don't care where you get them, but use resources, all right? And lastly is at some point, build your own. Don't waste time now doing it. If you're not full-time in business, if your credibility is low right now, it's okay. You don't have to be mad or sad at yourself. It's okay, but don't waste your time building resources for two reasons. Number one, you're still working a job. Number two, you don't have the credibility to build a resource, so don't do it. Just wait for a little bit, build the credibility, build the team, use other people's stuff because you don't get paid that well for doing it at first, right? And go build your team. Then when you have some freedom and you have a network where you might actually get paid well for the resources, now go build the resources. Mm-hmm. Cool? All right. Whew, that was a lot of stuff. So anyway, I think the past few times we've done a story right now, but this has been a lot of fun. Truthfully, I'm like totally out of breath, and we have a call starting in like 5 minutes, so I went a little bit over here. Oops, but that's okay. Hopefully, you guys get some good value out of this. Do me a favor, leave a comment, leave a like a thumbs up down below if you got value out of this, and like I said, check out the MLM Rebels Blueprint and check out the MLM Rebels podcast if you want to get more in depth in this stuff. If you're looking to use funnels for your business, the next thing you should do is read the MLM Rebels Blueprint down below. I don't even care if you read the offer at the very end. Just read the blueprint, okay? It's going to help you immeasurably. You can shave years off of this journey. Most of the funnels that I see in network marketing totally suck horribly. And if you read this blueprint, you can probably skip a lot of that stuff just from what's in there. Cool? All right. Well, appreciate you. Love you. Thanks so much. Like I said, I've said this before. I'll say this now. Ashley and I don't take for granted your brain space. You rented your brain space to us for the past 30, 40 minutes, and we appreciate every second of it, okay? I know you could be doing lots of things to move your life forward, to make extra money. Whether you're just trying to make $500 a month or 10 grand a month or 50 grand a month, I don't care what the number is. You could do other things to any of those numbers. And the fact that you're choosing network marketing, I appreciate the fact that you're trying to do it like a real business. I appreciate that even more because I believe this industry is great, but if people do it wrong, it can actually be bad to other people. But the fact that you want to do it with a real business principle at the core, man, I'm so excited for you. And not only am I excited for you, but we're very appreciative of you. We appreciate you being a part of this MLM Rebels network and group and community. And I'm really, really excited to spend some more time with you guys. So, like I said, if you found value in this, leave a comment and a rating down below. And we appreciate you, and we'll see you all very soon. So as I do this, I'm going to shut this down. And how do we do